What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into the Seattle Mariners post game recap. The Mariners lose tonight 5-3 to the Jays. They drop to 4-8. They lose their third in a row, which I'm not going to lie, it's felt like they've lost like 5 or 6 in a row. I know they won that game Saturday, but it feels like they've lost a lot more in a row here than just three. But I'm going to go ahead and break it all down for you guys. Before I get started, as always, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you guys are new here, hit subscribe. I'm just 54 subs away from 3,000, hoping to hit that this week. Listen, there's things with this team that I'll be tired of talking about. Thanking you guys is just something that I'm not going to get tired of doing because without you guys, my channel wouldn't be as successful as it is. And I truly enjoy this community. Reading your guys' comments, your takes, even if we don't always agree and stuff. Like I know we all want this team to be successful. So we're in this together. And, so far this year, it's not off to a great start, but your guys' support still makes it fun for me to want to get home, watch baseball. And even when they lose, I like coming on here and talking about it. You know what I mean? Just because of the community here. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. Listen, I'm not pulling up Baseball Savant today. You're not going to hear any, well, their expected batting average today was better than the Blue Jays, so therefore they should have won or something like that. And that's certainly never my intention when I bring those up, isn't to say, oh, see, they were just unlucky and that's it. It's just sometimes to look at the data. And there are games that I see where I look at this team and go, hey, they played all right. They just couldn't find a way to get the W. That happens. And that's going to happen again this year. But now they're at a point that you just got to win a game. Like, I don't really care right now. Like, just win. I don't care if it takes 13 hit by pitches, everybody being okay, 10 bunt infield hits, 9 errors behind them, and every fly out by the other team being 450 feet to the center field wall that's Julio catches for outs. I don't care. Just win a game. Please just win a game. For all of us, for me, for every single one of you guys, just win, please, guys. And, I'm not changing my tune. I still think it's early. It's definitely early. They've only played 12 games here, but I'm not going to lie either, man. It's felt like they've played 100 games so far. The way they've been playing, it does not feel like it's just been 12 games at sitting at 4-8. It feels like a lot more. It's been a difficult to watch. And truthfully, one of the reasons that I've said is not just the record, right? I think most of you guys and gals would agree with that, right? It's not just that they're 4-8. They've been a bad 4-8. Their run differential sitting at what, like minus 27 or something like that. It's not like they're 4-8 with a, +2 or something run differential. And they've just lost every game in the last at bat or something, or the bullpen, right? Without Brash and Santos has given up late leads where it's frustrating. I mean, they did have the game in Milwaukee, but that's frustrating, but you can see where they turn it around from there. You can say, listen, we just got to get Brash and Santos back. Right now, getting those guys back isn't going to do anything for you. I mean, it's going to help, you know what I mean? But like, just in terms of the roster right, or how they're playing right now, it's not bullpen arms at the back end they need. The offense needs to play better, and the starting pitching needs to be better. I will still maintain, and maybe I'm going to go down with the ship with a team that's 5-80 at the All-Star break. They are better than this. They are 100% better than this. This is not just like a blind optimism from me. I don't think it is. If we were a White Sox channel, yeah, I'd still say it's early, but my expectations would be so low to begin with that, like, yeah, I'd kind of like, this team's not good, and they're showing it. I do think this is a good baseball team. I really, really do. And again, broken record. I know it's just 12 games, but I'm just repeating myself in all these recaps. Now it's just 10 games. It's just 11 games. It's just 12, and it is, but I can't just keep saying it. Eventually, they've just got to win. Like, please, guys, go out tomorrow and win a baseball game. Like, I don't think winning tomorrow changes everything, but it just gets you on the right track for this season. Like I said, and I know they were 4-8 last year. I believe they were, but it seemed a little different. And I think they were 4-8. I think this was actually the night the Cubs came back from 7-0 on them. And then the Mariners won the the final game, the series with the Cubs. And then they came home and swept the Rockies. And they were back to 8-8, and we were feeling pretty good. Hopefully something similar happens here. Hopefully Logan Gilbert, who I believe was actually on the mound for that Cubs game last year, that they won can get the win tomorrow, and you can come home, and the Cubs are certainly much better than the Rockies, but maybe you can at home find a way to get this done. This team still hasn't won a series. Like I said, the run differential's been bad. They have been a legitimately bad game. The only silver lining here to me is two things. One, baseball's not 12 games, it's 162. There's 150 left. So plenty of time still to dig out of this. Number two is these guys are all better than this. Like everybody I'm going to go through today is better than what they've been so far. Um, and you just hope that they come out of it. There are too many good hitters here for this team to be legitimately bad. Now, they could end up underperforming. That happens. And maybe they're not as good as I thought they were, but they're not this bad either. I mean, my gosh, this team is, record wise on pace to win 66 games right now. And by run differential, yeah, like 60, 65 or something like that, probably on pace for. So, I mean, it has just been a brutal start. And listen, I think this is like the last fan base in sports outside of maybe my Yotes that wants to sit here and be lectured. And that's the thing. Like, I get it. I can stand here and I've said I've been optimistic. I still am. Like, I still believe in this team. But, for you guys, that are frustrated, I'm frustrated too. Like, some of us have sat through, 25 years of just bad baseball with one playoff appearance mixed in there. And we embraced it and loved it. But I mean, we've been down this road before. I guess if anything, we've got the thick skin that can handle this. But the last thing you guys want to hear at 4-8 is like, oh, hey, just be patient, just be patient. Now, I do think we should be, but this is again, like, if they were the defending World Series champs, we'd probably go, okay, it's a little bit of a rough start. They're going to get out of this. But this is a team that's just constantly disappointed us most of us probably throughout our lives. I mean, a nice little peak from 95 to 2002, 2003. But other than that, it's been a rough go. So, I'm barking up the wrong fan base to ask for patience. Not that I don't work for the team, so I'm not asking for it, but to tell people that, you guys have been through, we've all been through it. We've been through it all with this team. So it's just frustrating. And again, I do think it's going to get better. I do not believe this team is awful, but just win tomorrow. That's all I can say. Go through it real quick. I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter. Guys, I don't have a ton to say, really. I mean, they battled back a little bit. That was good to see. Canzone had the home run. He had a good game. He had that walk in the 9th. Julio had the walk in the 8th, and then Rojas double play. They rallied a little bit. I mean, it's good to see. At least there's some fight in the team, so that's solid. But I other than that, not just much to say. It's if this was the third game of the year, I'd be a little bit more like, okay, whatever. But the losses are starting to pile up a little bit more than we'd like. So I can't look for too many silver linings. George Kirby was not very good. 4 innings, 8 hits, 5 run, 5 earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Started out really sharp. Thought he looked great early on. And then I forgot who it was that reached and had the stolen base. I think it was Dalton Varsho gets on. They should have had him picked off. But either George didn't see it. I didn't see anybody yelling at Kirby that he was off the base. Ty was blowing some bubble gum at first base. I'm getting salty now. And, Varsho's able to get back to first. Then Kirby balks. Then George Springer fouls off like 440 pitches. And I joked on Twitter that, we know an annoying hit's coming up, and it was a line drive, but of course Springer sends a live drive into center field, makes it 1-0. Kirby looked really frustrated during all that. Body language. And again, I'm not a body language expert or anything like that. I shouldn't read too much into it, but he looked really upset. Then he gives up the home run to Bo Bichette, and it just kind of came unraveled from there. And like I said, Kirby looked visibly upset, and you've got to control the emotions. I guarantee you with Varsho should have having been picked off, then the balk and the Springer base hit after 20 foul balls was super frustrating. I'm sure it was, but you've got to find a way there to keep your emotions in check and not let it spiral. 1-0 usually isn't going to beat you. Although right now it feels, I mean, we're in one of those stretches. I always talk about it with the Mariners. Last year in August when they were rolling, it was like 3-0. They'll come back from this. Then there's moments where they're just scuffling, where it's like they're down 1-0, and you're literally sitting there going, that's probably ball game. And so, I don't blame him for thinking that, but it's not. Like 1-0 is not ball game. He's got to got to keep the emotions in check there and buckle it down. But, second straight rough start for Kirby. Listen, it's pretty obvious why this team is not playing good baseball right now, right? I mean, the last time through the rotation, talked about it the other night. Castillo was bad against Cleveland. Kirby was bad against Cleveland. Logan was okay against Milwaukee, but not good enough. Bryce was great. Hancock was terrible against Milwaukee. Talked about how that needs to be better, and here we are. Next time through the rotation, Castillo struggled against the Blue Jays, and now Kirby does too. That right there, and then Julio scuffling, Mitch Garver's not hitting, JP's not hitting. That's all you need to know. You know what I mean? Like, I can sit here and go, oh, is Sebi Zavala a good backup catcher? Sebi Zavala has nothing to do with why this team's struggling right now. He's not helping, but it's the big guns aren't hitting, and the top of the line pitchers are not pitching well. It's pretty simple what the Mariners need. They need these guys to be better. George Kirby has got to be better. Do I think he will? Absolutely. But the last two starts, not good. And it's going to lead to losses when you're giving up 5 runs in 4 innings. It is. And if George Kirby, a 6.91 ERA is not going to cut it. That's not going to be his ERA at the end of the year. But right now it is. And it's not good enough. And you're not going to win games when Castillo and Kirby are that off and your big boppers aren't hitting. Thornton, Voth, Stanek, Spire, and DeGus all did their job. I know some people on Twitter were upset that that Scott used Stanek and Spire. Listen, like, everyone's got to pitch eventually. You know what I mean? Those guys have not gotten into many games here. Stanek hasn't pitched since Friday, Spire since Saturday. Munoz now hasn't pitched since Saturday. I'm all for giving those guys time off when you can, but they do have to pitch eventually. Like, you can't just let them sit out there for 3 weeks and not pitch. So I don't mind Scott going to them. And truthfully, like, they did their job, and the offense did have some chances to climb back in the game a little bit, honestly. That they couldn't do it, but it looks like it was the right decision to go to those guys in the pen, because you did give the offense a chance, and they almost did come back a little bit. Offensively, JP 0 for 3 had the leadoff walk, which was erased right away when Julio grounded into a double play. Julio did have a hit, was 1 for 3 with a walk. Like, that's not terrible, on base twice and 4 at bats, but the overall picture, I'm looking at this. JP 477 OPS, Julio 477 OPS, Jorge Polanco 542 OPS, Mitch Garver 472 OPS, Cal Raleigh 502 OPS, George Kirby 6.91 ERA, Luis Castillo 6-something ERA. I know ERA and OPS are not the best stats in the world. I know they do not tell the whole story of a baseball player, but I'm trying to keep it simple, and sometimes it is simple. It's that right there. Everything I just read off. That's why this team's 4-8. There's nothing else to it. Their best hitters are not hitting, and their best pitchers are not pitching well. I mean, I might just end the video right there. Their best hitters are not hitting, and their best pitchers are not pitching well. You're not going to win when that happens. Not going to happen. Mitch Haniger was 1 for 3 with a walk and a 2-run home run. Mitch has had a nice start to this season, his second home run of the year. Dom Canzone, 1 for 2, 2 walks and a home run as well. Honestly, like, I know some people didn't like the Paul Sewald trade. I did. I mean, the guys from the Sewald trade are kind of carrying the offense right now in Rojas and Canzone. Honestly, really good to see from Dom Canzone. Nice to see a couple walks from him as well, mixed in with the home run. Man, that power is really effortless for him to go the other way. Almost kind of looked like that Devers home run from opening day. Just kind of went out there, flicked the bat on it, and it powered up and got out. So I've been really impressed here recently with Dom Canzone. That is good to see. And like I said, it's funny, like Josh Rojas, 2 for 4 today. I know he grounded in the double play to end the game. 785 OPS. Like, the bottom of the order, the guys that we were worried about, the Urias Rojas platoon. Now, I know the defense from Urias hasn't been great, but the bats have been fine. Luke Raley hasn't hit, but Dom Canzone's been pretty solid. Like, the guys we were kind of had the question marks about, the bullpen. How would the bullpen hold up without Brash and Santos? Now, it really hasn't had to do much because they've barely had leads this year, but that stuff's all holding up. And again, I'm going to end the video right here. Their best hitters are not hitting. Their best pitchers are not pitching. Boom. That's it. That's all you need to know about this baseball team through 12 games. Are they going to get better? Yeah. Castillo, Kirby, and Gilbert. I won't really throw Logan in there. I think he's been all right, but they're better than this. Even if you don't like these hitters, even if you're like, I didn't like the Mitch Garver signing, he's not 472 OPS bad. Even if you thought JP might regress, he's not 477 OPS bad. We know Julio's not that bad. We know Jorge Polanco's better than this. So hopefully those guys can get it turned around. Thank you guys again for watching. That's all I've got for today. Remember to hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you want, go to SeatGeek, download the app or use the website if you're going to a Mariners game here, which not sure why right now. No, I'm just kidding. It's always fun to go to a ball game. Use my promo code JSTrident for $20 off your next purchase. Thank you to all my channel members as well. Mariners Facts, Trevor Hiddle, William Cook, Mr. Moses, and Gunny Studios. Member stream on Saturday. Be there for that. I'm going to be live on Friday for the Mariners and the Cubs. That's going to be for everybody. So come in, grab a beer, grab a soda, grab some water, some popcorn, and let's have a good time and watch the Mariners and Cubs together on Friday night. So I hope you guys can all join me for that stream. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your Tuesday. I do think they're going to get better, but yeah, this has just not been a super fun start. Have a great night, everybody. Go Mariners, and I'll see you next time. Peace.